Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. I wanted to talk about how to make Microsoft Flight Simulator a little bit more realistic, add some immersion, and just overall make the flight a little bit more enjoyable. The first program that I want to show you is FSRealistic. It does a whole bunch of stuff, but might tell already, like the ambient noises that are going on right now are a little bit different. And let me show you the program, and it does a whole bunch more inside the cockpit as well, but I just want to demonstrate this first on the outside. So if we come over here to FSRealistic, I'm going to turn it off. Listen to that. It's such a big difference. And the nice thing is that all these noises get layered upon each other, so it doesn't seem like it's too much. It also affects motion, which if we jump into the cockpit, you can hear like little seatbelt clicks and stuff going on there. You can see the wind is kind of pushing us around. It's a little windy here at Santa Monica. We do have live weather on. But if we come over to the effects, there's a whole bunch of different stuff that you can tune, but like one just to show like a good example of what it's doing as far as movement and sound is the touchdown. So like right now, if I touch down, that's what's going to happen, right? So you get a little bit more noise, some movement, and that's if I touch down at 150 feet per minute. Now let's say I had a great landing. You know, it's a little quieter and not as much shaking going on. Let's say I really had a harsh landing. Right? So, and you can increase, you know, like let's say we crank the movement. This is going to be so harsh. So there's all sorts that you can do to really kind of fine tune how you want it to be. And you can change the sound as well. So right, that's just some tire noises. I don't know what number 2 is, but we'll hear it. I think number 1 was still really good, but you can go through and choose all the different settings that you want to on those. Now, the nice thing about it is that you don't have to go through each aircraft and choose and fine tune. You can just come over to this profile page, and from the cloud they have people that have updated their own profiles. So like I usually just find the most downloaded one and then tweak it, and this remembers for each aircraft. You don't have to like load it in or anything like that. So that's number 1. It also does a whole bunch of wind noise while we're in the air, so it does a great job of adding a little bit of immersion. Now, if you're familiar with my channel, the other thing that I use is a head tracker. So I've had a few questions about it. This is called TrackIR. I think it's one of the more popular ones out there, but this definitely adds to the immersion, and it's very easy to set up, and, you know, lets you really look around. And, you know, I'm only tilting my head maybe 10 degrees there to look all the way. I mean, you can look all the way behind you, and obviously I'm still looking at my monitor. So it does a really good job of making you feel like you're in the cockpit. I personally use the IR clip that clips onto your headset, but it comes with a sort of like hat clip where you just put on a cap and then put that on there, and it would track that way as well. So the other thing before we get fired up is I use Navigraph, which is a flight planning and sort of flight tracker that ties into like SimBrief and all sorts of different stuff. But what I like about it is the newest one came with VFR sectionals, which is what we're looking at here. You can have, you know, low altitude airways. There's high, there's low. Oh, I have the city layer turned on. Let's turn that off. There you go. So there's a lot of different sort of charts, if you will, on there. But the best thing about it is that you also get all of the, you know, departure, arrival, airport information charts, and you can overlay them onto the map itself. So we're the little purple arrow right now. We're sitting here and we can see where we need to go. Now, typically I don't even have this open on my computer. I have this open on my phone, and it will display all this information on a phone, a tablet, a laptop, another computer, whatever you want to do. You can have this basically running on another device, so you don't have to, sort of bring this up while you're flying. You can just, use a tablet off to the side, and it has, your little guy flying along there, and it works out really well to get all the chart information. So I have that running as well on my phone, so I can get all my frequencies, because we're replacing the ATC with a program called Pilot to ATC. Now, Pilot to ATC is not as in depth as, say, VATSIM, where you're talking to a real person, but you are talking to a program, and you have to have the correct phraseology that in order to advance and talk to them. Now, there's a whole bunch of voices that you can download. You can purchase ones, all that type of stuff. I just downloaded more Microsoft voices for free and loaded those in. So there's a little bit of variation going on. They are robotic because, like I said, I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of money on realistic voices. But I imagine in the future, that's going to get more and more real and better ways to actually access those voices. So the way that looks is, I do not have it open. Currently, I'm still running the trial, and you get 10 days of that. So I'm only about 5 days into using this program, but this is what kind of made me want to make this video, is because it really does a good job of getting you immersed into the game. And also, I think we can all agree that the ATC that is currently in Microsoft Flight Simulator is lacking at best. So we're going to do a VFR flight. So we're not even going to load anything in here. Typically, I've seen people ask, hey, how do I fly a VFR flight using Pilot to ATC? And the answer will be, oh, just put in your flight plan and then file it. And which is fine, but that's going to have them give you a squawk code and a flight following, very similar to like what an IFR flight is. Now, you can fly a true VFR flight, which is, typically you're just going to get clearance to take off from the tower, and then they're going to, release you from their frequency, and you would just be squawking 1200 and get in touch with other pilots on Unicom stations as you're flying through, or contact the airspace that you're about to either transition or, land at. So we're going to leave it like this. We're going to go ahead and connect. This connects up to the simulator. There we go. You can see where it's got us loaded here at Santa Monica. And I'm just going to click away from that real quick. And let's go ahead and we're going to go through a quick fire-up procedure on this. It's been a while since I've flown it, so sorry if that is going to be a little off. All right, so first thing on this one, we're going to get our battery on, alternator on, beacon on. We can come full forward on our mixture. Prop can come to high, and we're going to go full throttle. And from there, we can pop on our fuel pump. We just want to see that peak. Go ahead and turn that off. Fuel selector, we just want to make sure we're on the fullest tank. They are both even at the moment, so we are good there. And then we can go ahead and rotate our magneto and key. Now, the fun thing with FSRealistic is...
clear prop.
I love that. And you can change the clear prop ones around. Oh, I forgot to bring the throttle back to idle. That definitely would not have started in a real Bonanza 3.5. But let's go ahead and just get that settled there. Pop on our avionics. We need to tune the ATIS, which is 11915. So 11915.
Santa Monica Municipal Information Bravo. 2051 Zulu winds are 218 at 10 knots.
Now, something else I want to show you real quick is inside Pilot to ATC, there is another add-on called the ATC Chatter. And if is it under sounds? Yeah, let's decrease this to 60. So this is going to be live recordings that get played throughout the flight,
254 ready for taxi with golf.
JetBlue 254,
like this.
runway 1 via Juliet, hold short of 4.
And that
Runway 1 via
just
Juliet,
adds
short of
in,
runway 4,
again, a little bit
254.
more realism. And, you know, they're not accurate as far as where you are, but they're accurate to what frequency you are tuned. So it does a very good job of that. But let's go ahead and contact ground and ask for our taxi information, or taxi clearance. Bonanza 35, ready to taxi runway 21.
Bonanza 35 taxi to runway 21 via taxiways Bravo, Bravo 5, Alpha 5, hold short runway 21.
So they do their best, but Alpha is on the other side, so really it's having me cross and then come around. So we'll just Bonanza 35 clear to runway 21 via Bravo, Bravo 5, hold short 21. Bonanza 35. So there we go. We can go ahead and taxi on over. Very short taxi.
With 7609 taxi.
Bonanza 35 contact tower on 120.1. Have a good afternoon.
Delta Main is 5.
Delta Main is 5, yes sir.
Yeah, we put.
Tower, Bonanza 35, holding short runway 21, ready for takeoff.
Bonanza 35 winds are 218 at 10 knots, altimeter is 29904, cleared for takeoff, runway 21 squawk 1200.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 21, squawking 1200, Bonanza 35. So there we go, we are cleared to take off. And we can go ahead and get on in the air. Now we're just doing a VFR flight, and that's why he told us to make sure we're squawking 1200. And so we're just going to go ahead and line up. And actually, before we go, let me just pop on the brakes here. I want to get a little bit brighter in here because the weather's not awesome with that cloud layer. A little better. All right, now we can go ahead and go. Now, I apologize if some of the volumes are a little inconsistent because with all this going on and trying to record my voice, it gets a little hard to balance. Now, you can hear that rattling going on, and that's from that FSRealistic. You also had a little bit more vibration. And gear coming up. And we're just going to fly up the coast here. They're going to tell us that we can change frequency in just a little bit here. Just wait for that clearance to change. You can see.
Bonanza 35, good
go.
day. Frequency change approved.
Roger, Bonanza 35. So we've got the okay to go ahead and swap. So we can swap on over. Now Unicom is basically a uncontrolled frequency, if you will. So what that means is that you would announce your position to other aircraft in the area to let them know where you are, because you're not being handled by a controller when you're in a VFR flight. So like that guy right there was just letting everyone know that he was turning left base at some airport. Now for us, we could just say something like Bonanza 35 traffic 5 miles west of Santa Monica, following the coast north to Santa Barbara, Bonanza 35 traffic. And that would let them know. I should have said my altitude, actually, was the only thing I missed on that one. But it's, you know, who you are, where you are, and what you're doing. And that'll let everyone else in the area know, and then you're good to go. So one of the other things I want to show you before we jump ahead to when we're getting close to Santa Barbara, same thing with that FSRealistic. You know, it's a little gusty out today, and you can hear a little bit of the wind changes going on. But I wanted to show you, like if you do like abrupt changes in altitude, so say we drop down, You can hear that wind increase during that transition as it's almost like G's, you know? And same thing if you turn sharp, you can hear little things in the cockpit sort of like rattling around a little bit, right? So all those little things just add up to, you know, a little bit more immersion. I'm going to get my heading bug set to where we're currently at here. I'm going to disengage the autopilot, and we're going to go into alt mode and heading mode. So we can just fly a little bit easier here. And I would just want to show you again on here, if you turn it off, see how dead it sounds? So this layers audio so well.
The plans, 93 Golf is going to cross the midfield to join right traffic for 16 Friday.
And now I put it back on. And you can tell it's just got...
We're downwind left-hand. We were following that traffic that now is going midfield. We'll continue straight out until we have the traffic and planning a left base.
So like that's just awesome to me to have that stuff in there. So we're just gonna keep on keeping on, and we'll reconnect when we're getting close to Santa Barbara and checking in with them to enter the traffic pattern.
The traffic inboard there, they're taking runway 16 departing straight out to the south, Friday Harbor.
There's a little touch and go on what your command is when you're flying VFR. It's not as straightforward as when you're doing an IFR flight because they'll assign you as you come in. But there's phraseology document that you get with Pilot to ATC, and also in the Pilot to ATC program, you can bring up like helpful hints while you're in there. Well, not even hints, but the direct sort of call outs that you need to make. And you can also have, if you click on the say it button, the Copilot will say it for you. So we're gonna go for just saying that we're gonna enter the pattern. And where did that one go? Visual. Yeah, so if we do this one, right, so let's try and say that and see what happens. I did get disconnected on my own mistake while I was looking at something on there, so we'll see if it... I just reconnected and we'll see if it works or not. So... Bonanza 35 inbound at 1,500 feet for VFR pattern entry runway 07.
Bonanza 35, good afternoon. Altimeter is 299er1, enter pattern on a right downwind for runway 07, pattern altitude is 1,000 feet.
Perfect.
Call downwind.
17 Tail Foxtrot, cross 25 left, hold short of runway 25 right.
We'll call downwind Bonanza 35.
Alright, cross 25 left and Foxtrot, hold short at 25 right, air transport 1917.
So as we're coming up to Santa Barbara, you know, we can turn over a little bit here. Let's get this out of the way. So that command worked out perfectly. He told us to enter right traffic pattern and to call when we are on downwind at 1,000 feet. So one other thing that I wanted to show you how well Microsoft Flight Simulator has come with live weather. We're looking at everything here now. We're on real-time live weather, and I just loaded up a webcam for the little bay here at Santa Barbara, and if we have a look at it, I mean, look at that, right? This is, you know, right now, and this is right now, and I would say that is like dead on as far as how things look. You know, a little bit of blue overall. You've got mostly cloudy. Looking out, you are going to have some darker, bigger, fluffier clouds. So yeah, just fantastic. They've done a really good job at the live weather. They've improved it a lot since when it was first released. Okay, so I dropped this down. We got the runway off to our side here. I'm just going to turn over and enter into that downwind, and we'll report that. Bonanza 35 on downwind for runway 07.
Bonanza 35 call turning final for runway 07.
We'll call final for runway 07, Bonanza 35. So it's really well done, even for these VFR flights of, we did exactly what they said. We're on our downwind. I'm going to go ahead and start to slow us down.
2 right turns, ground point 75.
2 right turns, 0.75. Have a good morning.
And then we just call them when we're turning on to final. And then we'll be coming into land. And then once we land, they will hand us off to ground and give us taxi instructions. We'll see how accurate those are. Both these airports, I will say, are third-party airports. And so that makes sometimes the assignments from ATC a little funky.
144 on the...
Bonanza 35 turning final for runway 07.
Bonanza 35 winds are 346 at 4 knots, cleared to land runway 07.
Cleared to land runway 07, Bonanza 35. I just love that this adds the immersion of talking to ATC, and you get really practice with that phraseology to get comfortable with it. So it's kind of a nice stepping stone to make the jump over to VATSIM, and not be so green at where to put your call sign and all that good stuff. So definitely recommend it. Now, if you want more in-depth tutorials on any of these add-ons, please comment down below and make sure to subscribe, because I will help you guys out as best as I can. And I love doing these videos to show you different ways to make Flight Simulator better and have tutorials on the aircraft. Now I got to focus on landing.
25 left, 25 right, cross.
Because it is a little windy.
FedEx 618 heavy.
Now let's see if we can't get a nice landing where the vibrations from FSRealistic don't jostle me around a bunch. So just load it down. Yeah, there we go.
Bonanza 35 exit runway when able.
Now listen as well. Hear those brakes? There's those little bits just make such a big difference. Bonanza 35 requests taxi to the ramp.
Bonanza 35 taxi to general aviation parking via taxiways Alpha, Bravo, hold short runway 15 right, and runway 15 left.
There we go. So, taxiing to general aviation via Alpha, Bravo, hold short runway 15 right, hold short runway 15 left, Bonanza 35.
Bonanza 35 cross runway 15 right.
There we go, we can cross on over. Now, I think because these runways are so close together, he won't tell us to cross runway 15 right. But we can test that out if I hold short in this little tiny spot here. And I will ask him if we can.
Delta's 1960. Will you be ready over there?
1960, we'll be ready.
1960, cross 4 and Juliet, monitor tower.
Cross 4, then on Juliet, monitor tower, 1960 Delta.
Bonanza 35 ready to cross runway 15 left.
Bonanza 35 cross runway 15 left.
There we go. Roger, Bonanza 35. So you can see you can make little screw ups like that, just like in the real world.
5972, cross 4, monitor tower. Good morning.
Now this is turning onto Bravo, and then we get to go over to our parking spot that I chose. So that worked out very well. Overall, I would say that this is a great way. With these few things added, really adds some immersion and a lot of fun to your flights, especially with like the live weather. Then having this ATC, the added noises and vibrations, it all completes the package, I think. So thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.